Are you ready?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. It's going to be like that. Like I said, I don't say I will turn this car around. I'll turn it around right now.
You might want to.
John Peckman Podcast. I'm on my toes today. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, start looking left. You can't miss us. We're here with drummer Evan Kalish. He's here.
Thanks, John.
Keeping me on my toes. Keeping me on my toes today.
What happened? You finally ran out of actual musicians to interview after a year and a half?
Whatever. If you think so, that's fine. I don't think that, but you can think that. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Why not? Everybody's has a piece of this Connecticut music history at some point, you know? So I don't mean, but everyone's got a little piece of it. I want to put all the pieces together because you're around doing things that some I know about and some I don't, and then they might connect to something else. So
yeah, I love that about what you're doing here. I mean, we've watched most of these things, either at the house or, at lunch during work or whatever. and it is really a culmination of everybody I've heard about, everybody I've played with, everybody,
why not?
People tell me about. I think somebody needs to do one with you on the opposite side of the table.
Yeah,
at some point.
We did one.
You did
once.
one?
Yeah, one.
Okay, so I haven't
Early.
seen them all.
Yeah, I haven't seen them all early. Yeah, no, we will. We will someday. Yeah, cool. So I met you through Al, I think.
Yep.
At first, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Doing gigs with Al Grameras. Okay.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times I actually saw you play was down in his basement. And you guys were recording one of his original tunes, and Joe O'Brien was down there.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest thing. I was talking to Joe about it later that night. Al said, well, yeah, here, take a set of cans so you can kind of hear what John's doing and see how you attack a song and that sort of thing. And he puts the click on, and I can barely hear this click. And I'm not playing. I'm kind of sitting there. And you just take over, and you start in on the tune, on the kit, and I'm like, the click doesn't exist. Like John either doesn't need it or it's just enough for him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The click. I don't know. Yeah. You want to bury the click.
Well, it's funny. And
you know what I mean?
Texting Joe later that night, I said, Joe, like, how could you hear the click? And he said, you know what? I couldn't. And I realized at some point,
wow,
I don't need to play with the click. I'll just play with John.
Wow. I didn't realize any of that. Yeah, playing with the click. Yeah, well, especially now when most things are to the grid, playing to a click is the most important skill you can have.
I agree.
I feel like it's just not about me, but if I already told this story at some point, I apologize. But I'm old, and when I first started getting serious about playing drums, I had the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in the house, which was disco. Playing straight beats, and I would play to those songs for hours. There was like a 10-minute or 9-minute version of Disco Inferno that I would play to and just try to match what he was playing, and didn't realize later, of course, they were playing to a click. So I learned to play to a click by trying to match with them, whereas I guess some drummers, it's nothing against it, but like if you learn to play from people who aren't playing to a click, if you're I don't know. Well, actually, Neil Peart played to a click. But you know what I mean? Like, if you don't learn from the right people, then you don't know. So I got lucky. I was working with the click early. And then later in life, when I would get in the session and there would be a click, I was like, oh.
Now you're there.
Yeah, it's no problem. Like, it didn't freak me out.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there's different ways of sort of coming up with that. I mean, I didn't play drum set for a lot of the early years, but I grew up, playing in a competition marching band in high school and in middle school. And when we're practicing, I'm sure we will. When we're practicing, I mean, we're sitting there with a click track behind us on a loudspeaker.
Oh, wow.
So it just kind of gets buried in your brain at some point, and you have sort of tempos you can go to in your head.
Yep. Well, I would think, I would hope I don't have particularly good pitch, which is why I'm not, I'm an amateur bass player, mediocre singer, because it's not my thing. But like, I'm not gonna say I have perfect time, but I relate to the time, which is why I play drums. You know what I mean?
I saw the grid at Al's house. I can vouch that you have perfect time.
Well, hey, whatever. So tell us where you grew up. You mentioned some of your the drum line or the drum corps thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in New York and grew up in New Milford over by Danbury.
Wow.
Yeah,
hey, that's cool. Spent a lot of time in New Milford.
Really?
Yeah.
Like back in the day? Or,
I was in a
or
band
recently?
in the 80s. That was a big deal in that area.
Huh.
You remember it's on the main drag. It's I think it's a Mexican place now. It was back then it was called the Hayloft. It was it's a Riley's Red Barn or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a big barn type building. I was in a band in the 80s. We played there every Sunday. We're a big deal. And that there was a state, we built a state. It was like a venue.
That's a huge place in
there. It was
there.
a rock and roll venue. Yeah.
I had no idea it was that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I made a live record. That was like the first record I ever made was a live album there at that place.
That's really cool. Yeah, right on Route 7.
Yeah. And you could probably fit 200-300 people in that place.
Oh,
and we used to
easily.
pack them in up top, and the whole place was so New Milford.
I had no idea.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really cool.
I did a lot of time there. Yeah, New Milford.
Yeah, so I grew up there. You know, I was the pots and pans baby that my mom likes to tell the story of all the time, you know, taking pots and pans out on the kitchen floor and banging them with whatever, you know, was around.
Sure.
And then it really kind of got started in fourth grade, elementary school. So we went through fifth grade. So fourth and fifth grade was elementary school band. And I still remember, you know, the local music shop coming in and signing us all up, you know, to do whatever.
Hey.
And luckily we didn't have to rent anything because I picked drums.
Oh, that's cool.
So to go buy a practice pad and,
yeah.
you know, set of sticks and that's how it started. I mean, I was a product of you know, our bands.
Why drums?
I could just, I felt it. I felt it more.
Yeah. Sure.
I was a little bit, not really like a wild child or like out of control or anything, but it just.
Not like you are now, like you're so out of control.
Out of control or sedated. It depends on the day.
Right. Or the hour.
Yeah, exactly. No, I kind of gravitated towards it and I wanted to move. I wanted to move around.
Your parents musical or no?
My mom can sing better than she thinks she can, and she has really good rhythm, and will be mad that I said that when she's watching this.
Oh, really?
My dad enjoys music, not quite musical, but there's always been music in our family, especially on my mom's side. I mean, they grew up with music in the house on holidays. My uncle played a drum set himself. My grandfather played an organ.
Oh, cool.
There was a vibes player, was, you know, one of the uncles.
That's cool. So music in the house.
It was always in the house for them, always in the house for us. But I remember playing those first couple of years in elementary school. I think you and I were talking about this one time. The music teachers we've all had that you would remember.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for him, our elementary school music teacher was named Mr. Lapidus.
Oh.
So the kids do a lot with that, but he was the start. I mean,
Peckman's not the greatest name either, actually, but that's okay.
Yeah, now that you mention it,
yeah, yeah.
Never thought of it that way.
I don't even care. Yeah.
But I don't know if this was the same for you, but we actually had lesson periods in elementary school where he taught all of us.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if that was a regular thing. Do they still do it that way?
I'm no longer in school, so I don't know. I don't know, actually. I don't have kids. I don't know. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
For all I know, kids get beamed up to some place now. I would have no idea what they do.
It's a cloud, yeah.
Yeah, or something, yeah.
Yeah.
They just upload the information. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I suppose it depends.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
But
somebody will tell us.
Yeah. Is anybody on that thing?
Yeah,
from there, just going through the system in elementary school and then into middle school, I realized what improv was in middle school. Every year we would take a condensed version of the marching band. We went to the local nursing home and we'd play songs up and down the hallway.
Oh, cool.
And one year it was when
I'm sure that wasn't startling to old people.
No. Some of them couldn't hear it. Some of them loved it.
Maybe that's why.
But I remember Mambo No. 5 had come out that year.
Okay, sure.
So the music teacher picked that one,
Yeah.
Mrs. Ifland. And I remember looking at the lead drummer who was a year older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, just stop trying to play the sheet music. Let's just mess around.
Yeah. I got you.
And we improv for like 2 hours walking up and down hallways.
And you're like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, this makes some sense.
Yeah. If it sounds right, it's right.
Yeah. We did it mostly because the music teacher was all the way at the front, and hallways are thin, so she couldn't see us and yell at us.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
It was fun. And I mean, from there, it just went up through high school, and high school was competition marching band.
Wow.
We were class 5 with like 160 people on the field.
Mm.
Everything except for jazz band, because I still hadn't even picked up a pair of sticks to play drum set yet.
Wow. So you were playing what during all of this?
This was all kinds of different drums and percussion, all the stuff you see in the back and in the orchestra and the concert bands. Around this time, it was who gets to play the sleigh bells on Sleigh Ride, or the slapstick, or the temple blocks for the the horse clomping around.
Yeah. I got to shoot a gun one time.
For what song?
A blank. I don't remember. It was in high school.
And
it was some stupid. I had to blanks.
Did you get volunteered for it, or did you say I want to do this?
I don't remember how it happened, but the band director was like, "Here, whatever it was." I wish I could remember beat 4, or whatever. Cock the hammer, bang.
Yep.
And I think I screwed it up.
Really?
I got so nervous.
You get one shot, literally.
That's it. Yeah, you get one shot. Yeah, I don't think I got it right.
Huh.
I think I was nervous.
Was it a day of thing, or did you, when you guys were rehearsing?
No, we rehearsed it.
You rehearsed with the blanks?
Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah, sure. But I think I recall my nerves got the better of me the night of, because everybody's looking.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's got a gun. He's going to do the gun, shoot the part. And
I
miscounted, and I shot it at the wrong time or something.
You think it was like a quarter note off, or like?
I don't.
What are we talking about?
Click. No, I was on the beat, just a click. I rushed it a little bit.
Yep.
No, but I seen anyway. Yeah.
Oh, I love that kind of stuff. I mean, we had things like that too. I remember one time we were doing like this Las Vegas sort of theme song.
Sure.
And there was a Elvis and the Elvettes part in there. So I got dressed up in this Elvis costume with, some Elvettes kind of in tow, and we were walking up and down the aisles.
Hey, it all makes sense now.
That kind of stuff is fun. I mean, it's engaging. I really miss those days playing in that kind of a group. Something that, the camaraderie in a band when you're playing live is very similar.
Yeah.
But when you're, sitting with 125 people and you have percussion 1, 2, 3, and 4, I miss that.
Yeah. Well, go back to school.
Why not?
I guess. Or start 100-piece band. Let's start 100-piece band, and we could both be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go to the place in New Milford that holds 300 people,
right.
and we'll fill half of it with musicians.
100-piece band. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Do you get all the instruments, or do you like pick and choose? Do you make it a?
I don't know.
I
don't know. We're making this up now.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Just strap, some strap to like a timpani and
whatever.
And do that.
Yeah. I'm debating whether I should tell the New Milford story, and I just realized I shouldn't.
Not family friendly?
No, I don't think so.
You tell me after.
I was yeah. So then, drum kit. When did that day happen? When you're just like, you know what, I'm ready.
Yeah, it was interesting. Are you ready?
Well, no, you were saying I'm ready now.
Yeah,
I'm ready to play drum kit. How did that happen?
I remember in junior year of high school, I was really good friends with this guy, Rob Wojciechowski. Okay. And he had a drum set in his basement. I was always hanging out with him and, going over his house and, messing around or whatever. And he taught me, the first beat, doing eighths on the hat, and 2 and 4 and 1 and 3.
Yep.
And doing that whole thing. And, little by little, I was kind of getting into the drum set. I could already read, drum sheet music and stuff, but he was teaching me, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And at some point, I remember starting to have a desire for a drum kit. And before I really was able to even ask my parents, my uncle, who's a drummer, called my mom and said, I'm at this yard sale.
Yep.
Right? The yard sale story.
Sure.
And, it's some import nothing kit that came with a Zildjian scimitar cymbals.
Yeah, sure.
And
sure.
And he bought me a throne and, a snare drum to go with it.
Yep.
And I think my dad was pretty upset about the whole thing because he wasn't really involved in the conversation.
Oh, no. He's like, okay, here we go.
He's supportive now. But, my mom, my uncle brought that thing home and it just wowed me. And
you were ready. You were right at the right moment.
I was. And I did some stuff down there on my own. I would have Rob over and he would, continue teaching me stuff. Yeah. But I never really got to play with anybody else yet, like no, people playing guitar or anything. Sure. And at some point in senior
Weren't
year,
guitars outlawed in New Milford for a while? Remember that period?
Yeah, it was axe band is what they called it.
Yeah, there was an axe band. Yeah, that's cool.
So
New Milford's a weird place.
It is. They double.
Is it?
They double widened Route 7 since you've been there.
Oh, really?
And now it goes all the way into Danbury, 2-lane, like 50-mile-an-hour road.
Oh, is that good or bad?
Probably good because it would take too long to get over to Danbury.
I got you. Yeah.
You want to go to Stu Leonard's?
I could walk to Stu Leonard's from my house. I love Stu Leonard's. That's my happy.
Newington?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I live in Berlin. I love Stu Leonard's. I go there all the time.
It's really good.
Yeah, sometimes I'm hoping that my musical career will completely crash so that I can just go work at Stu Leonard's. I'm like, it's my happy place. When I'm there, I'm like, I wish I could just be here all the time. I'm like, well, you could. You could. So when I retire, that's the first place I'm going.
What job would you do? Are you looking at like cashier? Are you stocking? Are you cutting meat?
I want to be here.
You just want to be in the Stu Leonard's?
Be here. Just tell me what I need to do. I'll be here.
I feel like you should do like some stocking thing so you could go around the whole store at least on a daily.
I would be up in the whole place. When I retire, that's the first place I'm going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember the one in Danbury, I think was the first one, like Danbury Brookfield.
I played at the grand opening of that on a flatbed
No, you
truck in
didn't.
the parking lot. I did.
What year is that?
If I had to guess, I would say it was 80, 86, 85, 86, 85. Let's find out. You keep talking.
I'll keep talking. Yeah, well, I mean, they had all the original, animated thing like Twinkie the Kid and Chiquita Banana.
Oh, yeah. They still do. In Newington, they have something.
They have a couple in there?
Yeah, they got things. Yeah. You're like, oh, no. You can see the employees, like the kids going to press the button.
You can press the button.
Thing. It's like, oh, no. And then you press it.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to know now. So you played at the opening on a flatbed in the parking lot?
Yep.
And they had the cows there and stuff? And,
yep.
Wow.
Yep. There was hay bales next to us. It was a country band back then.
Wow.
It was a gig. Someone's like, hey, you want to do this gig? I think. It was in Norwalk. Does that sound right? We have other things to talk about.
I think there's a couple there.
Yeah.
There's one there.
I did play the opening of A. Stu Leonard's.
Yeah. Well, that's you've been posting your discography lately. I think that as a live show deserves its own thing. Like I opened Stu Leonard's.
I think I might have past it.
You opened 4 Stu Leonard's.
Yeah. I think Stu Leonard plays.
Really?
I've seen videos of him strumming on a guitar. I get the feeling. Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
We need to stop talking about Stu Leonard's.
Yeah.
Other things. All right. So they're
going to pay us, right?
That's a good question, actually. Maybe if we keep talking, I can get Stu Leonard's to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have to say it 5 more times before the hour's over.
Stu Leonard's. And you say it over and over, and it loses all meaning.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
Yeah. But
Stu Leonard's, and it doesn't mean anything.
It either doesn't mean anything, or Stu Leonard pops out of the mirror.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Don't say it at night.
Yep.
So you're learning more from your friend. You're playing drums in the basement. Your dad's hating it.
Yep. And then here's what happened. My parents split. It was somewhat amicable. They're still friends.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom got back together with a prior high school sweetheart.
Oh boy.
Like 30 years later. This really tall guy with a lot of hair.
Okay.
And he plays guitar.
Hey.
And
Wow.
one night I'm at their house in Vernon. That's where she moved to.
Sure.
And I had, my marching band, like the 2As, the really thick sticks at the house because I was, practicing for whatever.
Sure.
And Steve has this little, 10-watt Gorilla amp that he's got a Les Paul plugged into.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he had on, Rockin' in the Free World or some song from Concert for George or whatever. But I just decided I'm taking my sticks. And I went and sat in the living room where he was playing this thing. and I started playing the side of the fireplace.
Hey.
With the sticks. And, it's got the mesh, so you can get a little hi-hat-y kind of thing going, and the snares on the metal and that sort of thing.
That's funny.
And then, it kind of dawned on us really quick. We're moving the drum set here from New Milford. And forevermore, I was living with them in the summer, and when I would come home from school at UConn, Steve and I would play every single night down in the basement.
Coolest stepdad ever.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He really, really got me started with what it meant to play with people.
Hey, that's cool.
And Steve, if you end up watching this, I apologize for the early years because I grew up as a massive Carter Beauford fan. So Steve's playing these classic rock tunes and some of the more mellow, like fun.
Yeah, and you want to get into it.
And I'm dancing all around and doing fills, and he must have been sitting there thinking, I gotta be crazy.
Yeah, but we all do that. We all do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say when you're starting, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all want to do that.
Yeah.
At some point.
It's true.
I did that. I think of how many things I would want to undo. Like so when I was starting to play practically, our Carter Beauford, it was Neil Peart and Stuart Copeland. Those were the two biggest drummers. And I ruined every band I was ever in by trying. I was more of a Stuart Copeland guy, but just trying to play every song as if it was a Police tune.
Right. So you just played it all reggae?
Yeah, or just too busy hi-hats or whatever, just trying to, make it all make sense. And then you realize after a while, you're just like, let me just play the bare minimum and build it up from there rather than try to fit all these, But we all, I'm just saying.
You do it. I like the way that you do that now, which is posting 30-second Facebook videos of you doing something where you're like, this isn't needed anywhere.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Well, yeah. I like to, I'm always fooling around.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I sit down on the drums, I'm always trying to figure out some ridiculous lick or just, working through something. Yeah, 99.9% of them are unsuitable for.
They don't go anywhere.
No, they don't go anywhere, but they're fun. I have fun playing them,
and
I feel like it does something. Very occasionally, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna pull this out on the gig, and 9 times out of 10, it doesn't even work.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh well.
Well, I have a question for you, by the way, on those videos.
Oh boy,
I've seen you do it, and I want to know. I want to know why you do it.
Oh, okay.
If it's because you're bored, if it's because you're fooling around, because those are fooling around videos.
Yeah.
A lot of times I see you take one of your hands and you change your stick grip so your index finger is on the top of the stick like this, and you're doing this.
The worst.
It looks like you're poking at stuff.
Terrible. It's a terrible. I tell my kids all the time. I'm like, don't do this. I don't know why. Yeah, it's bad technique.
It looks cool though.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not. No, it's terrible technique. Yeah, I just so all right.
Is it boredom?
No, it's what ends up happening sometimes is years ago. This is so freaking boring. Just fast forward, non-drummer people. I started playing Extreme 5A.
Yeah.
Vic Firth. Yep. Extra half inch. Because my hands are pretty big. And I fooled around one day. I think I tried different sticks, and I like that extra length. It just puts the fulcrum, the weight, in a different place. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. You get used to it. And then sometimes I'll pick up a regular size stick when I'm teaching, and it's not enough. So I start holding it way at the end, and then I can't steady it. And I started doing this thing, and just out of necessity, because the stick is too short, and I'm holding it way at the end, and then to steady it, I'm doing this.
You need that.
And I start doing that, and now I'm doing that even with the long sticks, because I just...
Oh, okay.
It's terrible technique. Keith Moon used to do that.
Huh.
But yeah, I don't do that for any reason. It's just bad technique.
That's interesting. And you do it with either hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on what kind of sound. But then there's other times when I'm playing a cymbal, or if I want, I hold the stick very, very lightly.
Yep.
Like I'll play right like that.
Yeah.
It just depends on what kind of sound I'm after. But sometimes if I'm playing a lick and I want to be forceful, I don't want any bounce. I just want to.
You do the finger thing.
I don't bury it, but I just kind of, But
yeah,
bad technique. I always tell my kids don't. And I have one of my kids. He's like, stop doing that. Because when I sit down to show him, I tease him. I said, don't ever do this. I'm going to do it, but don't ever do this.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit down, and the first thing he'll say is, stop doing that. Okay, you're right. Because I don't know. I don't have the world's greatest technique, but
that's interesting coming from like one of the top drummers I've ever seen. I know you don't like the things, and people say it, but
no, I like it.
Oh, good.
I don't know. I didn't learn I did learn the right way. I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
So I did not learn proper technique. I tried my best, and then I just kind of went at it. But I feel like I know how to draw out the sound that I want to hear when I'm playing.
It does kind of look like you're drawing. I don't say that lightly, but now that you say it like that,
I never thought about it.
You're kind of, and I hear it on, a lot of Al's original tunes that you've been on. You're kind of like building a part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sort of, move it and putting color here and color there.
I think so.
It's a little Bob Rossi without the afro.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. But yeah, I just kind of, sometimes I tell kids, Nick, he's a student when he was younger. There's another person in this room. Obviously, I want to right the wrongs. I want people to have the right technique, but, if you have a sound in your head and whatever it takes to create that sound,
right,
doesn't matter how you're holding the stick. Unless the way you're holding the stick is preventing you. But anyway, I don't know. I guess if anything, I have the ear, so I hear what I'm trying to do, and then I don't pay attention to how my hands are. And then later I'll go, oh, it turns out that I was...
That's what was going on, yeah.
Just depending on what kind of sound I'm trying to...
That's interesting. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you about that one for a while.
I don't know if that's an answer, but...
That's a very good answer.
Bad technique. Just not good technique.
Not bored of bad technique.
But whatever it takes, I try to teach the kids at least like this is the easiest way. Like technically, this is the way that you should do it. That would make the most sense.
Yep.
And then I don't do any of it the right way. But
yeah, well, I mean, if you're teaching the right thing, that's what they're hopefully picking up.
Well, you try to. It's that old thing of like you kind of got to know because I did know the rules. Like you got to kind of know the rules before you break them.
That's true.
Kind of.
I agree with you.
So I just feel like, all right, if I'm the first drummer that you're going to meet and I'm going to teach you, I am going to kind of show you the rules.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, sometimes we have to talk about you, but sometimes you find with kids, Nick probably remembers this, but sometimes you get like, they'll be going to play a specific thing. Like I'll go, all right, let's learn this part and we'll play a thing, but then they'll make a mistake that's equally as good. It sounds cool, but it's not the thing we're going for. I go, okay, you're mishearing that. What we're doing, you're mishearing it, but what you're playing is actually really cool. So I'll remember that. Let's put that aside momentarily.
Break the barrier.
Let's get the thing, and then let's go back and learn your mistake.
Right.
Because sometimes when you're going for something and you mistake your way into something else, I feel like it's my job as a teacher to go like, okay, you know what? What you played isn't wrong. It's just different than this thing, but let's use this to discern and then go, okay, let's go after the thing and get it precisely and get it perfect and then go, all right, now we're going to look at your mistake. You hear the difference. Now play that and then play the mistake. Right. And then so anyway, sometimes I always look at it like to maximize what you're going after. Like, so you're going after this one lick and you might have mistaked your way into two other ones. If we bag them all up, going after that one thing, you just learned three things.
Sure.
As long as you can, tag them.
And one of them kind of came natural to you, even if it was the mistake.
Right. I mean, it doesn't, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I look at it that way. I wouldn't say there are no mistakes. I mean, if you're going to play something and it's not going to land or you're out of time.
Right.
But sometimes, people just mishear a syncopation or something. And I go, that's close. Not quite, but let's what do they say? Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then go back. And then just like lo and behold, we just picked up three things while we were going
for the price of one.
Why not? And then you just increase your amount of things you can reach for.
Yeah.
I guess.
I love that. That's great.
I try to. That's what I try to do. Because mistakes, like I say, sometimes you mistake your way into something equally as good.
Hey, not to bring up Bob Ross for a second time, but he says all mistakes are happy little accidents.
Hey, you know what? I guess that's true. Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that's kind of one of my concepts. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, why not? Yeah. So anyway, then what?
Well, so
There you are with stepdad.
I'm stepdad Steve, and after we had been playing in the basement for so long, we finally got up the nerve to go and try an open mic.
Hey.
So we did a couple at like the Tiger, and Sully's. First time we went there, Bob Laramie sat in and helped us out, which was great because drums and electric guitar and vocals, and we're playing "Rockin' in the Free World." And Steve's gonna hate that I'm telling this story. Yeah. And as soon as it goes into the guitar solo, Steve, goes to rip into this thing, and he steps on the chord and yanks it out of the amp.
Oh no!
And all of a sudden, I'm just sitting there.
Solo.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there with Bob, like
15-year-old,
first time ever playing out. I'm going, what do I do?
What? Hey, man, this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see what you do.
And Bob's like, just keep going.
Yeah. You're gonna do what you do. Yeah, that's funny.
So we did that, and Steve and I played together. We play together now. I was up there for Thanksgiving. Every time we get together, we're playing. We were doing open mics. We had a couple of our own shows.
Hey.
We were opening for a friend's band of his.
That's cool.
But it all originated with just jamming in the basement, which it's such a timeless classic.
Yeah,
and
beautiful. It should be.
It should be. And, from there, and Steve and I have never stopped playing. Like I was just saying, we always play. And I'll always come back to that. But then I moved to Granby at the week before the October snowstorm where we all lost power for like 2 weeks.
What year?
2010.
Oh, I don't know if I remember that. Do I remember that?
Or 2011.
Yeah.
But I moved there and started going to this place called the Cambridge House, which you know.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And I met Dave Costa, who was running the open mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Joe O'Brien early on, and
so
then
all the cats,
all the guys, and Al Gamera's, and I started going and seeing Joe's band, the Bus Drivers, which was Jeff Presh was the lead vocalist at the time, and
makes sense now.
Dennis Fancher was in it, and all that stuff, and every single one of them, all of them, in their own way, sort of took me under their wing. Dave gave me the best advice when I first started playing, at the open mic. He came over to me. He said, "Your goal is to serve the song."
Right.
And I think about that every time I play.
Yeah.
It's the best advice out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Serve the tune. So
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And every one of them has had me on gigs, working on some of their original stuff. Just kind of taking somebody with no live experience and saying, you know what, we'll give you a shot.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. All those guys. The first time I recorded was with Jeff in Nano's basement.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's on the list. Yeah, I got to get him.
Oh,
get him next week, maybe. I'll get him next week.
I got his phone number.
Okay, Nano, if you're listening, I'm calling you. Okay.
Yeah.
He's on the list.
But, yeah, everybody in their own way, just kind of took me and said, this is how we do this. This is how you do a live show.
Great.
This is the kind of stamina you need to be playing for 3 hours. These are, the gigs. Yeah. Learn how to load in and load out, and
learn how to drink.
I did that.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. But I love.
How's your
drinking
going? Drinking going? You keeping up?
I try.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. You?
No, I don't. I actually don't drink hardly at all. It tastes funny.
You're better off.
My thing is like, I am better off. I can never get into alcohol. I forget that it exists. I just forget.
Huh.
I forget that it's a thing. And my standard joke is, I guess they say that alcohol brings, it brings your insides out. It brings your latent. And I don't have anything hidden. I am.
That's true.
Right. So it just makes me hot, dizzy, and tired.
Yeah.
I'm still me, but I'm just like, I'm dizzy now.
It's just all worse.
Yeah, that's all.
Huh.
It does. I don't seek, all these emotions don't come out. It's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm dizzy. No, this is stupid.
No, why would you do it then?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never got into it. Never drank that much.
That's a good thing.
I guess so. Yeah. It was never one of my things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. So speaking of drinking.
Yeah.
No, it's been a great ride. I kind of feel a little bit like a nomad in a way. I get a lot of calls to fill in for this or that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a regular in certain lineups too.
Yeah.
With Al's live show,
Yep.
or I've been playing with a band called Steelhead.
Okay.
Which is a lot of fun. Also, like half originals, half covers kind of thing.
Nice. Who's in that? Anybody we know?
You should actually have him on. His name's Anthony Kraft. He used to cook at the Cambridge House, actually.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a ton of original music. It's all like kind of jam bandy, Grateful Dead, Fish kind of stuff. That's a lot of fun. And I like that. I like playing Joe's originals and Al's originals and Anthony's originals.
Yeah.
Because there's a different feeling to what they put into it. I'm not saying they don't put feeling into the covers and stuff, because everybody does. But there's something else that comes along with those originals that the passion is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's an honor, first of all, to play on somebody's original tunes and get asked to do it.
For sure.
But it's also fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
The only non-fun part is trying to play whatever your parts were on Al's originals.
Oh.
At some point,
You're
Al,
not a trick. I don't.
Most of them aren't. But at one point, Al came over to me. He goes,
"Oh no."
He goes, I asked you to do this live gig. He said, bring what you play. He's like, don't try to be John.
Yeah. I'm only playing the song too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you say, if you serve the song, you're gonna come up with the same thing. I'm not doing anything radical. No, especially his stuff. It's songs. It's like I know this sounds stupid. People, of course, it's songs, but he doesn't. It's like Al's music is not. I guess it's genre specific in that it's guitar based generally.
Sure.
But it's not. You can't bring a bag to it. You just have to. Like, I just go song by song.
Right.
You just go, okay, listen to it and go, okay, I'm going to play the drums along to what this is. It's not like, oh, yeah, this is a rock band, or this is a reggae band, or this is a funk band. There's no...
You got to hear the tune.
It just hears the tune. And, 9 times out of 10, I don't know what it's like with you, but with Al, what usually happens, because he knows that it's coming, is like he'll, sit down and he'll have the lyrics, everything. Okay, we're going to listen to the tune. And, boink. Okay, starts playing. I'm listening to it and reading the lyrics. And, like, by the time I get halfway through, I'm just like, what's wrong with you, man? 'Cause songs are all just funny.
They are very funny.
And clever. And just, you're just like, how like the song it'll be maybe sometimes a silly title, but sometimes you don't even know from the title, but then you're just like, okay, what's going to happen? How's this going to happen? You get halfway through the song, you're like, oh, so this is what he's been doing.
And then you get to, I think it's cut number 20. Sorry if I'm wrong, Al, or 21 or 19. A song called Quasimojo.
Oh, yeah. Quasimojo, a go-go. Yeah. No, yeah, that's fun. But that's what I mean. So then you can't, you have to just play the thing. Just go, okay, well, let me listen to what the instruments are doing and then find out how closely do you want me to follow this or whatever, and you just do it. But yeah, his songs are always, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm doing this funk session, or I'm doing, it could be anything.
You just go in and you're there.
Could be anything.
I'm probably biased because I'm a product of all these people around here, but it's kind of cliche to say like buy local or support local music. Everybody says that, but it's true. There's so much good music in any given place.
Yeah.
That all you have to do is seek it out. You might not have heard a song before, but you also never heard Stairway to Heaven before the first time you heard it.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Yep. I have a comedy routine. Someday I'm going to put all these routines together and do a comedy open mic. But that's the thing, that at some point, Leonard Skinner took the stage and said, we're going to play a brand new song now. We just wrote, it's called Freebird. And someone's like, give me 3 steps.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
right.
We don't want to hear that. Yeah.
Nobody wants Freebird.
Yeah. I think I did hear too that Zeppelin said the first few times they played Stairway, people were just like,
what's going on?
Yeah, when's the song's going to start or whatever.
Yeah.
So everything's original at some point.
It is.
At some point, somebody wrote Happy Birthday, and other people are like, no.
Yeah.
He's a jolly good fellow. We don't need a happy birthday.
Wait, what are we going to do? People are going to sing this, and it's all going to be in like a minor key and depressing. Nobody sings Happy Birthday.
Happy Birthday is terrible. They should get rid of that song.
Yeah.
It's in 3. People don't know it's in 3. It's an octave jump. you have to, and nobody can, me included, can never, because you have to remember as a singer, you're like, okay, it's an octave leap, so you don't want to start too high.
No.
And then most people just bail, and that's why it's always off key, because people don't.
Yeah, and you get the phasers out. They're like,
yeah, I never, yeah. But anyway, yeah, let's abolish Happy Birthday.
That's in the first one.
Yep.
People can still ask for Stairway, but they're going to be bored by it, as we've now determined.
Yeah. God. Totally. Then what?
Oh.
You're still at it.
Still at it.
Yeah.
Loving doing the original gigs.
Yeah.
We have a Christmas gig coming up this weekend, which is going to be fun. All Christmas tunes.
I think I did that once.
You did do that once.
Yeah.
I have the recording.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Okay. And you're going to play it exactly the way I played it.
That's the only way to play it.
Right.
I memorized all your live parts
from
a 2.5 hour set.
Yeah, and you got to hold your stick like this.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
I hold the stick. I charted it. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah.
It's going to flop.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, but playing as much as I possibly can. I've realized, so my wife and I have been married for just over a year now. Shout out to Shannon. Who's
wait,
just
I wanted
amazing.
to go back just for a minute.
Oh, please.
I forgot to say this when we were talking about the click track, because now you can relate.
Yep.
Now that you're married, the click track is like your wife. It's never wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's always you. Like, you play the click and it's off. It's like, you're wrong. You're wrong.
And you are if you're off the click.
You are. Just like when you're married, you're wrong.
Yep.
Your wife is right.
Yep.
You're wrong.
It's a funny thing that the click track in our house, while it can be Shannon, it's actually Shannon, but indirectly. So she says the thing that's right. I'm not interested in listening to it or carrying out the correct thing.
Sure.
And the joke between her and our close friend Brendan, who is also a drummer, is all it will take to get Evan to do the thing that is right, that Shannon suggested, is to have Joe O'Brien tell him to do it.
Oh.
Because, Joe knows what he's doing, but Shannon doesn't, obviously.
I see.
So that's the joke.
So she goes to Joe and says,
it's happened.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, some people you just can't hear it from. You don't want to hear it from.
I just need a day.
Yeah.
A day to think it over. You ever need you just need a day, like you know it's right, but you're going to rebel because you don't want it to be right, and then you come back the next day?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've done that. I don't know. I can't talk about it. I've been with my wife since 1994.
Wow.
1996.
I was 96.
I think that's when we kind of, made it official or whatever.
I was 8.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that and hopefully you guys, will be, I think it's one of those things where we complement each other, as in, not compliment like, nice dress, but we're equally right about different things.
Mm-hmm.
And we trust each other to a degree.
Yeah, the trust is huge.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that I am right about and some things that she's right about, and we just kind of...
Wasn't she right about a very specific bass drum lick one time?
Oh, my God.
I think you already told that on the podcast.
I must have. Oh, yeah. She's weird, man.
Not a musician, but got you on a bass drum lick.
I trust... You know what? Is your wife like... I trust her ear. I trust my wife's ear.
Oh, I trust Shannon's ear.
Yeah.
She has a better ear than she thinks, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's cool. She's like... my wife is like... not a musician, but she has a musician's take. Like, she connects with things emotionally.
Yeah.
Which I assume that most normal people, I think they just like a genre. I like country music, and that's what they... With her, she has like musician. It doesn't make sense to you. You have to be her. But yeah, I do trust her ear, because she'll know the difference. She'll hear something. She goes, "That's you playing, isn't it?" Or "That's not you," or she can pick that out. Anyway,
right.
So what's your wife? What's her deal?
Well, she grew up, she played hand chimes in school.
Oh, okay.
Learned how to play piano. A lot of people in her family know how to play. Her mom played. And she's been outrageously supportive of this whole thing. I mean, the first thing we started on when we got the house was we're building the music room.
Hey.
And downstairs. And because I'd lived in a condo for 10 years playing an electronic drum kit.
Thing. Yep.
And it killed me. I don't know if it was the same for you, but it killed me inside to play an electronic kit. exclusively.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
It's fine. You can practice with it. It's
not a substitute. It's different.
No. And I mean, they're making them a lot better now, but I'm not spending $5,000 that I don't have on an electronic kit that's going to feel real.
Nope. Yeah.
Not going to do it.
Right. No, I hear you. I never had a kit in my condo. I would practice when I was teaching. If the kid didn't
that makes
show,
sense.
I just didn't. I didn't bother doing that. But now that we have the house,
yeah. It's been a huge relief being able to go down and practice. For a gig or whatever, we'll go down. Maybe we'll have a cocktail or something, and we'll have like a '90s night.
Oh, nice.
Where I just put on like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys on the PA, and I'll just play along to the drums, and we'll just do that.
Yeah, why not?
And it's a blast.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. She's incredibly supportive. We'll see how that plays out in the long run. But
yeah. Well,
she's never come to me and said, like, can you please not take a gig?
Oh.
Hasn't happened yet.
I don't know what to say. I was going to say, that might change when you have a kid, but I don't know if you're having kids.
Maybe. I think, and by maybe, I mean, yeah. At least we'll try.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, well, that's cool. But yeah, no, I trust my wife's ear. She's usually right about stuff, which I hate.
You get over
sometimes. Yeah, I was playing "The Ocean" by Led Zeppelin at a gig, and I saw her. I'm like, "What's your problem?" She's like, "You're playing that wrong." I'm like, what? And she was right. We listened to it later, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." I made an assumption about where a bass drum though, and she just knew that it was. She couldn't tell me what, but she's like, "No, it's not. You just."
She had it though.
Yeah,
she's
there. Like, every time you played that, she would get more bugged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. Yeah, I made an assumption about how the part went.
And I mean, yeah, it's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not being off of a click wrong.
No, but it was cool. I was kind of like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I see how that goes.
Yep.
I see how that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
The way he actually played it. All right. I'm not going to say we're getting close, but do you want to wrap up your history?
Yeah.
And then get into whatever else?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, with the history, that's kind of where it is now, just playing with a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
Finally having the basement set up. It's just been, it's been eye-opening how kind the community is.
Yeah.
And, everybody that's given me a chance of playing with them and working on their tunes or, doing a live gig or anything like that. There's just a lot of great people around here.
Yeah, right.
Ton of whom you've had on the show. Some of which are clients, some of which are friends.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for the whole thing, to be truly honest. It's been great. Yeah. It's really been great.
Good. That's cool. Good. As long as you're enjoying it, I guess that's the main thing.
I am. I realized on the drive over here just how involved my entire life is in music. It's what I go do for fun.
Sure.
Playing out.
Sure.
I'll play at home. Shannon and I will go downstairs and listen to music, or I'll be playing music or practicing or whatever. And then when I go to work, it's the same thing. It's working with musicians. And it's like, and then we go to concerts. And
So tell us, in case people don't know, briefly your day job and why it matters.
Oh, it matters because they should feel sorry for me, and that is because I work for Alan Friedman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Bummer.
He's actually been amazing.
Of course.
I joined them about 6 years ago after spending a long time at a very large CPA firm. And I met Alan through Jeff Presh, actually. Jeff's been a long-time client of his.
Okay.
And I first, met Alan when we were both doing the same gig at a UConn event. And by gig, I mean talking to high school students about the accounting profession.
Oh.
So I had a breakout room with a panel that I was hosting, later in the day. But to start the morning at 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, the Accounting Crows played a 45-minute set.
Gotcha.
So Alan's up there playing classic rock to these high school kids and Beatles tunes and stuff.
That's cool.
And we sat down and did that. And since then, my whole client base is musicians, bands, recording studios.
Hey, that's cool.
Equipment manufacturers. he and another person in our office have a huge practice with music retailers that I don't dabble in, kind of focused. But it's amazing. I mean, we have clients that nobody's ever heard of who are amazingly talented and amazing people, up to a bunch of famous people. And it really doesn't matter to me, famous or not. It's are you a nice person?
Yeah, right.
A lot of people you've either had on your show or should have on your show.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll get to them.
We'll go over the list.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a blast working with Alan.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I would imagine so. That must have been cool. Part of the scene too.
Yeah.
Like you get, like it ties into the music scene.
It's still a small world, but I thought I knew most of the local people. And then when Alan started, introducing me to some other of his local clients, like, wow, I didn't know a lot.
That was a whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's been fun.
Yeah.
He's a good person to work for.
Yeah, I bet. Seems like it.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, hey, whatever. You ready? You know it's coming. You already know. You already thought about this. You're ready.
I had to.
Okay. Are you a consistent practicer of your instrument?
No.
Like a goal-oriented?
Not the way I would like to be.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think it matters. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, I did for years and years. I mean, I used to have those chops in the marching band days.
You got your rudiment. You still got those chops?
I don't have those chops though.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I'd like to practice more and actually like work on things around the kit more so than maybe working on songs.
Yeah.
I've taken the song direction for a long time now and should have some refocus, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, you got your whole life.
Yeah.
Now you got the kid at home. Sky's the limit.
Can actually do something.
Yeah, that's cool. Desert Island Albums.
You get 3?
Whatever.
Yeah. I'm an enormous Dave Matthews Band fan. What do we got, like 1 minute?
No, we got 9 minutes.
9 minutes. So, enormous Dave Matthews Band fan. I'll come back to what that all means because there's going to be haters, and that's okay.
Uh-huh.
I'd go Before These Crowded Streets.
Okay. I don't know any. I'm not a...
It was one they put out in 98.
Okay.
And then I'd go... See, these are all going to be different because I grew up with classic rock in the house, but we didn't listen like records front to back or like have the folds or memorize the song names. We had them all on. Locked Down by Dr. John, his last record, 2012.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
It's just this New Orleans,
I bet.
soupy, funky, really cool stuff.
Who's on drums?
He has a few different people on there, depending on the tune.
I'll have to check out that record.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then, so to go with like more of an orchestral piece too. I really love theme music, movie music, John Williams very specifically.
Sure.
And I have this on vinyl too. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the score for it.
Sure.
It's an incredible tune.
Yeah, that's what they say.
The violin parts are, just fun to listen to.
Far out.
I love singling out. You get like, 20 different instruments and putting all the rest in the back of your head and listening to the oboe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's killer. So, what else?
Oh, well, so on the Dave Matthews thing real quick.
Yeah.
So there's haters and there's good reasons to be a hater.
With the porta potty thing.
The porta potty thing when they dumped it on the boat. Yeah. So I grew up listening to them. My mom got me the Crash album.
Sure.
That Crash was on and, Too Much and So Much to Say. And I listened to that going to sleep when I was a child.
Right.
And, I've been to 40 plus concerts.
Oh, wow.
My mom took me to one when I was 14 years old.
Oh,
okay. I love that group for the musicianship and listening to the different parts, like we were just saying, and being a huge Carter fan and what he's able to do. The rightful hate is a lot of the younger fan base who go there for a party.
Okay.
Which you get at, some concerts.
Yeah,
you definitely still get
it's
that.
It's the culture.
It's the culture. It's not the music.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be easy to hate on the music. They're not they've never been like a radio hit band, right? So they put out Ants Marching, which was one of the only ones that was ever on the radio.
Yeah,
and, you know, they hear Dave's voice.
Yeah.
And it's like the first time I heard Neil Young do "Don't Let It Bring You Down." I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, if you like it, you like it, right? I mean, that's your thing.
It's music at the end of the day. It's
it's
connected, and what do you connect with?
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
What's your favorite band again, by the way?
Well, it depends on what day it is, but you know, I would say Beatles probably.
Beatles
would, if I had to just answer off the top of my head.
Is there a close second?
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
Yep. But again, like you say, it's a thing I heard when at the right age, and it just made sense. I was like, this is what I think it should be.
Yeah.
What rock music should be.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, growing up in the 90s, it was, I'm listening to what, Dave Matthews or the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not hating on the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, but yeah, you want to hear drums, you want to hear some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was lucky in a way. I mean, Rush was not a singles band, but we were more into album rock when I was young. But yeah, there was Stuart Copeland and Neil Peart if you wanted to get into drums, there it was.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
You know, so you could hear a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Different sounds. You know, that was the thing about them. I used to think of Neil Peart, well, actually Stuart Copeland too. It was like a tour of different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a lot of, you're like, oh, those are timbales for a second, and those are
octobans.
That's an octave. Yeah, and you know, all kinds of different sounds that you could decide. Of course, now I just play a 4-piece kit. You know what I mean?
Same
I'm
here.
not interested in, but
one up, one down.
But at the time when you're interested in drums, you're like, oh man, you know, there's a lot of different cymbals and what. You know,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
I remember building those mega kits at my mom and stepdad's house, getting a Catalina maple with the 3 up, 2 down, and taking out all the cymbals and stands I could find down there.
Yep. My thing was, I had a couple of drummer friends when I was young, that age, getting into it. We have drum sleepovers. Like they would just bring their drum kit over to my house, or I would bring mine over to their house, and we would combine the kits and make a huge kit.
No way.
Oh yeah, and just play all weekend.
I missed out.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all we did.
So your parents were always
they were cool with it.
Yeah.
But that was big time. Was like, oh, we can play double bass now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then really figure it out. Make one big giant kit.
Yep.
You know, so
one pedal on each.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Old school. Yeah. I don't think there was a double pedal back then.
What would you do? You just had the hi-hats closed and
who knows?
Play the ride.
Yeah. I don't even remember.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, just trying to figure everything out.
Yep.
Desert Island food.
Oh, Desert Island food. Elbow-shaped pasta with a slightly sweet marinara sauce.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah. You had the most famous drummer on, a few weeks ago, Bernard Purdy.
Yeah.
His wife, Celia, is the one who steals the show.
Oh, yeah?
Remember last year at the Telefunken event that Alan put on with the immediate family and his own 5-album release. It was the first time she was going to see me in person. I'd been doing their taxes for a few years.
Yeah.
She shows up with a big tray, and she's Italian, a big tray of lasagna and a container of her homemade sauce and meatballs. And I'm eating the sauce going, sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
This is the best sauce I've ever had. So you have to have good marinara on those elbows.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, no, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Hey, well, that's cool. So Bernard Purdy's wife makes the best sauce you've ever had. That's interesting. Something you'll only hear here.
You only hear it here. And the main reason it's the best is there's no single flavor that is overpowering. That's also not to say that it's bland, because it isn't. Somehow she strikes a balance.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Well, maybe, who knows? I wonder what it would take for me to get some of that.
I don't think it'll take a lot. She loves cooking for people.
Okay. Well, you know what? If it ever comes around again, I'll mention it.
Yep.
That would be something. One show that blew your mind that you saw, that you were like, wow. this.
I've seen a lot of concerts over the years.
I bet.
Mostly thanks to my mom and stepdad. They kind of took me on a tour young of like, who's still alive?
Yeah.
Let's go do that. So like we saw Dr. John at Infinity Hall. That was incredible.
I didn't just unplug us, did I? I moved my foot and I tugged on this. Just make sure. We're good? Okay, cool.
It's live.
Sorry. Well, imagine.
Yeah. I would probably say the first time I saw Santana.
Oh.
And that's even after seeing 40 plus Dave Matthews Band shows.
Really?
The
Why?
energy they bring. It's, they come out on fire.
Yeah. I've
And,
never.
Yeah,
Never
it's a
seen-
treat.
seen- Who was on drums?
Cindy Blackman,
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, she was on there.
Wow.
Saw them. We saw the Doobie Brothers open for them just before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And it was a great double bill.
And who was on drums with the Doobies?
I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Yeah, but Santana's it's the energy. It's
Yeah,
the
I've
show.
never
It's
seen
like constant, like just feel good tunes.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's unexpected.
Yeah,
far out.
We're seeing the Temptations in May.
Ooh,
one original member left.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
You got to go do it.
Where?
Up in Springfield, Mass, at the Coliseum.
Oh,
or whatever it's called.
Maybe. We just bought tickets for Kool and the Gang, Average White Band, and the Spinners at Oakdale.
At Oakdale?
Yes.
When?
I don't remember. It's hence.
Yeah.
Summer. Or
yeah,
something
this
that.
one's in May too. So
It's
you guys like going to live shows?
Oh sure. I mean, you know how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not quite as magical as it used to be. Now that I know everything, it's just kind of like whatever.
Yep.
But song power, like for me, I love Average White Band.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Spinners. I love Kool and the Gang. When you put all that together, you're just like,
that's going to do it.
Yeah, just hit me.
Yeah.
Hit me. Let me have it all.
Well, I love, after going to so many concerts and playing so many live gigs, I
love the Temptations. Too.
You should get tickets for this one.
Maybe I will. The first song I ever remember hearing in my life was The Way You Do the Things You Do.
Oh, yeah.
Huge influence on me, that one song. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I was just going to say, I love going to concerts now and, listening and focusing on the music, but watching the production more.
Yeah, right.
And watching, where did they put the set list out on the stage so I know who to go approach at the end of the night to get the set list. I get set lists all the time.
Oh, okay. You're one of those guys.
I love it. If it's a band I'm interested in, I like having a piece of the show, to take back and even especially if it's like handwritten or something.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's cool.
I love watching. They got carpets out on stage. That was a thing for a lot of years, and they still do it.
Yep.
The guy in certain bands, Dave Matthews Band included, 5 minutes before they take the stage, he's vacuuming the carpet.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I love that guy.
Yeah, you're right. The carpet vacuumer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine.
They deserve it.
Yeah, that job sucks.
Hey, we have to end on that.
Yeah. Do you wanna? We can end on that. You want to end on that? Looks like we're there. I did unplug it. I knew it.
It happens.
We'll figure that out. All right. I'm going to press the button. It's getting hectic up in here. All right. Evan Kalish. Finally. We finally did this.
John, thanks for having me in.
Of course. Yeah, of course. You were on the list. All right. I'm going to press the button. Don't get scared.
Oh, boy.
Hey. Those are Al's drums.
I hear that.
That's Al's kit. You hear that?
Yep.
It's Al's kit.
I know that bass drum sound.
Yeah. I took a track. We did a track. I just took the drums and had somebody overdub it. All right, John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go over one through the satellite, start looking left. Evan Kalish was here. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, kids. Take it easy. That is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.